This is Conrad Thompson with Wooooo Nation right here on Play.it. And baseball's in full swing, and you can be a part of all the action all season long at DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball.
There is only one Ric Flair, 16-time world champion, but don't get down. Don't despair. You can win cash every single day at DraftKings.
No season-long commitments, win huge prizes every day. Peter from Colorado won $1 million in just one day. Are you kidding me? Hey, Pete, when you come to Atlanta, drinks are on you, pal.
Woo! New contests start daily, so hurry to DraftKings.com right now and use promo code FLAIR to play for free in today's $10,000 fantasy baseball contest. DraftKings.com, official partner of Major League Baseball. Enter Flair for free entry now at DraftKings.com. 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 Woo!
A man who wears the 10 pounds of gold, the nature boy, Ric Flair.
You know, I always like to take this opportunity to talk about myself. Woo! Woo!
The 16-time heavyweight champion has arrived.
I've got the style and profile like never before.
The greatest talker in the history of the business is behind the mic once again.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine like, jet flying, son of a gun. Woo!
This is Wooooo Nation with Ric Flair.
I'm the man.
All right, you're listening to Wooooo Nation right here on Play.it. Our guest this week is going to be the total package Lex Luger. We're going to try to get Lex on the phone, Rick, and he's one of your best opponents.
One of my best opponents, and I'll take a press slam for him again right here to show him I can. Woo! You know why? Because I'm Ric Flair, 16 times world champion, and along with my co-host, we are doing Wooooo Nation right now. Woo! Lex Luger.
Hey.
Hey, man. Hey, Lex, I'm with Conrad. I didn't even know you guys knew each other until about a month ago.
Oh, yeah.
The C-Man. He knows more about wrestling than Dave Meltzer.
He is highly knowledgeable in the area of wrestling.
Yeah, he is. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm real honored to be on your podcast.
Well,
I got you guys the new NBC. There was NBC, then MSNBC. Now there's NB and C, Nature Boy and Conrad.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. Yeah, we've been lucky. It's been one of those deals. What happened was they heard me on Austin's, a couple times. Once when I was drunk, so I was really entertaining, right? So they heard me on Austin's, and they called my agent and said, "Do you think Flair would want to do a podcast?" And I knew Jericho was doing good, and I knew Steve was making money with it, but I never entertained the idea of doing it. And then, Conrad and I have become such close friends, and Conrad likes the business. And the funny thing is, Lex, for all the people I know, from, like the football, like from Lawrence Taylor to Marino to, all the people I've met over the years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they want wrestling people, and I work for CBS. The guy I work for wants wrestling people, and not any other form of entertainment or any other form of athlete right now. So I'll go, okay, and then I talk to Conrad, every day. We try to figure out who to come on, and we had you scheduled for a couple weeks ago, and then all that shit happened with Dusty, which was terrible. I know you're aware of that.
No, now let's go to the heart of the matter. The day I was supposed to do the podcast with you, you showed up in the background, camera bombing in Cleveland at the NBA game and the NBA Finals. I go, look at Nate. I got jilted for the NBA Finals.
Oh no, yeah. Oh, I thought it was last week. I've lost track of time. Yeah, I know. Can you believe it, man? They flew me in there.
That was great. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I've gotten to know LeBron.
The thing they did on the Indianapolis Colts with you was priceless.
Yeah, Sergio, man. Well, you know what I tell everybody?
Oh, my gosh.
I tell everybody, and you have to remember this because we got so many expressions, but the way Lex used to justify my ridiculous amount of spending was he'd say, Nate, it's image enhancement.
Oh, yeah, but you always taught me that.
No, you taught me that. You gave me.
Oh my gosh!
You gave me a logical.
Don't turn that phrase on me, Nate.
No, I said you always gave me a logical explanation as to why I could spend all that money for ridiculous things, and it's come back.
Well, you did need a lot of encouragement.
Well, I did talk you into getting your first Rolex.
Oh my gosh, yes. And Mercedes.
And then a Mercedes Benz.
And it had to be a presidential Rolex. It had to be a top of the line Mercedes.
Of course, with a diamond bezel. Yeah, you would come over to my house on days off and do workouts and do your abs, and I'd do the Stairmaster, and then I would say, Lex, I don't drink, and I'd say, I just have one Seabreeze. Okay. I take total responsibility for ruining Lex Luger.
Yes,
he didn't drink till he met me. He didn't even know what drinking was. It's a true story.
You remember the Mercedes? I was ready to tip my windows, and you looked at me and go, what, are you crazy? I go, yeah, no, that's the cool thing to do now. We tint the windows when you buy a high-end premium car like that. You go, hey, don't ever tint your windows because you buy a car like that, you want everybody to see who's driving it.
Hey, I got that from Dusty. That was not original. Why would you tint your windows, man?
You banned me from tinting my windows on my first top-of-the-line Mercedes.
Yeah, I know. And you banned Peggy when she drove her to the goddamn garage.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll remember that. Jesus Christ.
I'll never forget that. I was in Roanoke, Virginia, on a Sunday afternoon show. And they go, Nature's on the phone. He wants to talk to you. I go, oh, my gosh. You guy on the phone goes, Lug, she's okay, but... Man, looks like a bomb went off at a movie set.
So what happened?
Yeah, Lex and I are working somewhere, and not that Beth could do anything to help, but Peggy and Beth had become good friends, and somehow they got a hold of us, and Peggy had driven his new Mercedes. He bought a house in Governor Square, right, Lex?
Yeah, right at South Park Mall there.
Yeah, right by the mall, by South Park.
No, it's worse than that, Nate. I was renting the house.
Oh, you were renting. I couldn't remember. All right.
It wasn't my house.
Well, I couldn't remember. Back then, we weren't home anyway. God, it wasn't like we spent a lot of time. So
no, I just moved there. I was renting while I was looking around to buy.
Yeah.
Before Turner bought us out.
And what happened?
We were up working, and Peggy, I'm not sure how, because, it wasn't because she was drinking or anything. Because, God forbid, Peggy and Larry foiled drink, not my Larry.
Right.
I introduced them all. I said, Peggy, you're going to have to learn to drink to be married to a wrestler, honey. I got news for you. I don't care. I don't care if you're an All-American at Penn State in track and field or not. Grab a cocktail. Yep. So anyway, she drove somehow at the end of the garage with Lex's new Mercedes.
She drove to the front door of the garage, through the back wall, the room behind it. Just missed my tanning bed that Nate had me by.
Yeah, God, shut up.
Oh my God.
Drove to the back wall of the house and down the hill into an embankment with a tree. It was those Volvos. I don't know if you remember back in the day, Conrad, but they had that they got a bunch of lawsuits. They would surge on their own. You put the car in drive. It would take off like you floored it.
I do remember, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those deals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Don't mention the suntan beds because you're the reason I've had 4 eye cataract operations. But nobody knew what tanning was until Lex Luger came along. All of a sudden, me and Arn were in the tanning bed 5 times a week with no goggles. Next thing I know, I'm blind. It's the truth. He and I rented a room. We were sharing a room together in New York one day.
Image enhancement, Nate. We had to look like we just came.
I know, but nobody knew what tanning was until you came along. What the hell? Next thing I know, I've got 4 cataract operations.
Oh, my God.
Because Luger you never wore goggles either, did you?
I didn't.
None of us did. And no. Arn and I didn't.
No. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
So,
so I saw a page at Dusty's funeral. He said you fell down and got hurt again. Is that true?
Oh, that was a while back. I'm good now, though.
Well, what causes it? I've never understood, and we have never talked about it. Did you have a stroke? What's causing all that?
No, that was the rumor that I had one, but you know how once that gets started, it's hard for the truth to ever get out. Actually, not that it matters that much, but I actually had I sustained a spinal cord injury.
But how did that happen?
The best that the neurologist could make, because of my 30 years between football and wrestling as a human crash dummy.
Yeah.
I just had the normal stuff all of us have, Nate. Like bone spurs and things up in the cervical area in the neck.
Yeah.
Well, what happened was I had that, of course, like all of us do. But what I did was I did a heavy shoulder, trap, and neck workout right before I got on a long airplane ride from Atlanta to Frisco. On the airplane, I had my head turned to one side for a couple of hours, and because it was right after the workout, and they said because I was still so muscular at the time, and because I had just worked that area and inflamed it by breaking the muscle tissue down, and because of my prior trauma in that area, which was normal, when all three of those things lined up, they called it the perfect storm. I wouldn't call it that.
Oh, my God. Well, you know.
But I said, you create the problem. I went to turn my head forwards on the airplane. I got the worst burning, stabbing pain down from my neck and the back of my neck to my shoulder blades. I couldn't turn my head all the way straight ahead for about 5-10 minutes. But then I thought I was okay. I got up off the plane, walked off the plane, walked to the hotel, went up the elevator, went to bed, woke up a few hours later in bed in the hotel room, laying on my side with the same burning, searing, hot pain down the back of my neck and shoulder. But this time it was like 1,000 times worse, and I couldn't move anything from the neck down. I could only move my head and shoulders. I was paralyzed from the neck down.
Oh, my God.
They said the inflammation, what happened when I had my head turned in the airplane after that heavy weight workout, still being so muscular, with the normal damage in that area, I squeezed off the central cord and severely bruised it, and the bruising caused severe swelling overnight, and it damaged my spinal cord, which is a big no-no.
Oh, God. Well, I guess. Well, God.
Yeah, just a freak accident that I sustained.
Well, okay. Now, last time I saw you, remember, you came to Macon to see Steve and I, Sting, when we were with TNA. Remember, that was like 2011 or 12. So when did that happen? What year did that happen, your accident?
The spinal cord injury? Oh, it was 08.
Yeah, 08. So it happened a while ago. Okay. So
yeah. It's been, 7 years.
Yeah, because Sting told me about it, and of course, then I saw you, but you were getting around real good when I saw you.
Oh yeah. And at times I can get around really good. It goes up and down. My mobility, neurologically, is challenged at times, especially if I take a fall or something. But my health, incredibly, I had my 55-year checkup a while ago. They said, other than your mobility challenges you have, you're one of the healthiest 55-year-olds you ever tested. Your heart, lungs, all your internal organs, especially as we talked prior, the way we ran so hard all those years.
Yeah.
They said you're everything. I don't take any medications. They said you're one of the healthiest 55-year-olds. Your blood pressure, your cholesterol, just everything was perfect.
Well, that's great.
Amazing.
Well, you always had control of your diet and that. I mean, that was a given.
Relatively so, yeah.
No, even when we were traveling, you were one of the guys that would go to Sabatino's and you'd eat grilled chicken, and we'd all be spaghetti.
You always had a pretty good. You always were pretty careful.
Oh, I know. I ate clean, but you know where I learned my eating habits from you. I learned everything about fitness from you. Between you and Steamboat, actually. Because I was with Steamboat a lot before you came along.
Rick was very knowledgeable.
Yeah, but I mean, I learned a lot.
He looks incredible. Have you seen him?
Oh, I see Rick all the time. Yeah, Jesus.
It looks like you could climb right back in the ring if you wanted to. Physically, what an incredible specimen.
Yeah, but he's he's real fragile, Lex.
I didn't know that.
Oh, he had a brain aneurysm. Yeah, you can't.
I'd heard that, but I didn't know how serious.
He almost died. He was in intensive care for 4 months.
When was that?
Wow.
It was. I almost had a heart attack. They called me. It was. I'll tell you what year it was. It's been 5 years now. So 5 years ago, what happened was they made that DVD about Steamboat's life. He finally got free of Bonnie, thank God.
Okay.
And which I'm very openly will say, and I say it right in front of him. He doesn't care. And the company was able to make a DVD on him.
Right. So
he got in the ring, and you know how Vince always makes an angle out of something, right?
Sure.
So introducing Steamboat, and he's promoting his DVD, right? And that group of guys that hit the ring back, this is before, who are the guys now, the Roman Reigns, what was the group before?
The Shield?
What was the group before that? The four guys. One guy did the 450 off the top.
Nexus?
Nexus, yeah. Nexus hits the ring. And the guy did the 450 off the top rope on top of Rick, and his knee hit Rick in the head, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the next day, that was in Philadelphia. The next day, Rick is, at this point, he's teaching at the place in Florida before they moved it to Orlando.
FCW.
Right.
FCW. He's teaching there.
Okay.
And he's in the ring, and he fell over and had a seizure, and in the hospital 4 months in Tampa.
Wow.
And intensive care.
Wow. I didn't know it was that serious.
Oh, yeah, 4 months of intensive care. And then he got out, and, it's funny because you know how that works. It's one of those things that the next week, because I think he felt so bad. You know who took the same finish, don't you, the next week? Vince.
No.
Really?
Vince. Yeah, I mean.
No way.
Yeah, he did. Yep, he got to get heat because he let those guys get heat like they did with Reigns and those guys. What was that?
Shield.
The Shield.
Okay.
They got heat in everybody. So he took the same bump in that, but obviously he didn't get hit in the head with his knee. But Vince, he's crazy.
Wow.
He does all that stuff.
You never know with your health, right?
Yeah.
Take for granted, Nate.
Yeah. And he looks. Yeah, he looks like $1 million, but he's real fragile, Lexi. I mean, he's in that no-touch list, kind of like Bret Hart. You can't touch Bret at all.
Right.
He's so fragile from that kick, and he actually had a stroke. So
yeah, but Nate, overall, my health is so good. But my initial diagnosis, Nate, I don't know if you knew this, was a from the neck down. The rest of my life, I need 24-hour care, get my teeth brushed, fed, bathed, clothed. So me to be able to drive myself around and do what I can do, even though sometimes my mobility is not quite as good at other times, I'm very thankful. I mean, my health is incredible. Things we can take for granted, right?
Yeah, by God. Well, look at me. I don't even like talking about it because I'm so worried. I'm 66. I'm clearly always 11 years older than you. And my blood pressure is 110/60, resting heart rate 47, and they look at me like there's something wrong with me. You
are a genetic freak.
No, and I don't have any. Knock on wood, Lex. I don't have any health issues. Nothing. My knees, everybody else has got hips and knees and shoulders.
I know. I watch you walk around, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's wrestled way more than me.
I know.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know,
amazing.
And I just, it's like, God gave me a gift, and I just, like I had to go to Pittsburgh for the company to get a physical because they wanted to do some in-ring stuff with me. So I go up there to see Donahue, the heart specialist at the University of Pittsburgh, and so I didn't drink at all for 24 hours, right? Which was really difficult. And I checked into the Marriott Courtyard. I walked in there in the morning, and Donahue hadn't gotten there yet. 6 o'clock in the morning, I check in. They put all the stuff on me, and my resting heart rate was 42. My blood pressure was 106/60. So the other doctor said to me, "We're checking you in right now." I said, "Checking me in for what?" And I thought the WWE had tricked me to get me in the hospital. Like, oh shit. And I go,
no.
I'm not leaving. And they tested me for 4 hours. Everything. And that Dr. Donahue said, there's something wrong with you, man. I said, well, it's called an hour Broadway every night for 20 years. But they cleared me. Isn't that funny as shit?
Oh, that is
And like
amazing.
today, my game is now like you know me, Lex, where I learned a lot about weightlifting from you, which body parts and all that, but I've always had my own cardio gig, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
whether it
course.
be free squats or Stairmaster or whatever.
Well, you encouraged me to start doing some cardio, actually.
Yeah,
which
well,
I'm very
but you're one of those
thankful
guys. You're like Triple H. You guys don't have to do cardio. I mean, you got that gift that Hunter doesn't do cardio. He does now a little bit, only because he doesn't wrestle
Right.
that much. But some guys don't have to do cardio. Like Dave Bautista doesn't do cardio.
Right.
Interesting.
But the other thing too, Lex, is you were wrestling every night. I mean, we wrestled long ass matches, man.
Yeah, we were 300+ matches a year back then.
Oh
for
God,
sure.
365, brother, back from
Yeah.
twice on Saturday and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, I know we were together. We were like married together. So anyway, I passed it, but that guy looks at me and said, "You're a medical miracle." So
That is great.
yeah,
Man. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
man.
I feel great. Like my game now is the only piece of equipment I never conquered is what do we call that thing I use now? The elliptical, because I just thought it was boring.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
my new gig on the elliptical is level 19 at random, which goes up and down to different, and I try to keep it above 3.2 speed wise, and do 300 calories in 20 minutes or less.
Those ellipticals are incredible because they're low impact. They're
Yeah,
great.
and at random, but the 300 calories in 20 minutes is
Wow.
After it, yeah.
It's racking it,
High
man.
intensity.
Because I don't like
That
doing
is
it for
great,
30.
Nate.
I can't stand doing anything for 30 minutes, so if it doesn't happen in 20, it ain't gonna happen,
It's hard enough to get
Yeah,
sit still
well,
for a
I've been
podcast.
following you. You're
Yeah.
great, man. I'm so happy, thrilled that you're doing so well.
Yeah, well, thank you. Knock on wood. I have been married a few times since I've seen you and divorced, but aside from that, which wasn't so very cost effective, but marriage can be
Yeah.
overrated at times.
Yeah.
Lex tells a great story about
one?
your theory on drinking and why you should drink cranberry and vodka. Lex, take it from there.
Oh, on the behind the sea breeze.
Yeah.
Well,
That's how he convinced me to drink. He's starting to drink that stuff.
Yeah. Cranberry juice is good for his kidneys.
see, that's what he said.
And actually, I researched it, and he was right. So that gave me a
You
green
think
light.
I'd give you a bad tip? Hey, listen to this. Hey, I tell Conrad, I don't know if I told Conrad this story. Me and Arn and Lex, I really had to work on Lex to get him to go out, right? But finally I cracked him. We're in Birmingham one night, and we drive over there, and, Arn's changing his shirt for the third time and putting on his cologne, right? And Luke pops the trunk, takes off his shirt and takes out the baby oil. Started putting the baby oil on the guns. I said, this is just too much.
Well, my skin was dry from the shower.
Okay. Oh, God, it was too
I was
much.
just moisturizing.
I said, can't we just go have a drink? Jesus Christ.
That's hilarious.
It was the best. Nobody pops off their shirt. He was way ahead of his time on everything. If you're going to go somewhere, might as well look good, he said.
When
Why
did you guys
not?
first meet back in the day?
We met in Crockett's office.
Wow, okay.
Matter of fact, first time we met, they had me wrestling for 45 minutes, a second match in Daytona.
No, Nate, it was an hour Broadway. And I don't know. I know you wrestled so many incredible guys.
No, it was Daytona.
That's right, Daytona Beach Oceanfront Center.
Yeah, no, I know.
It was an hour Broadway.
No, I know, and I told Hiro Matsuda and the booker they were crazy.
Oh, I went back after the match thinking, oh my gosh, I wonder how I did. I was so nervous.
You did great, but
And
nobody.
you guys were like having words in the back.
Well, that
I
wasn't
was
fair.
thinking, I must have really done bad.
No, you didn't. You didn't do bad. You did great, but
Nate, do you remember this? In the middle of the match, you must have been thinking, God, what am I going to do with this guy for an hour? You're the master of it, but even you were challenged. At that point, I'm sure with me, for an hour Broadway, I was so inexperienced. I've only been wrestling a few months. And you called a sunset flip. And I said to you, what's that?
yeah. I don't remember that. All I know, I can tell you something. All I know is I took.
Nate went, oh my gosh.
No. All I said was, you know what? Don't worry about it. Give me another press slam. Because and then he put the bear hug on me, and I put the figure four on him, and we did it. You know, the people were happy as hell.
Got me through it, Nate.
I took a blade 3 inches long.
Before that, they had me only go like 5 minutes down there a match.
I know, you were ready.
An hour. I was so nervous. I go, what are they going to do for an hour?
Yeah. No, I told Matsuda and Roop. Was it Roop the booker then? I know it was Matsuda and who else?
I think Roop was one of the guys. Kevin Sullivan was down there.
No, Kevin wasn't there then yet, because I said, you guys, that's a bunch of crap. This guy's going to be a big star, and why put him out there for an hour? I mean, it just sometimes as experienced as people are, they don't think about the big picture. You know what I mean?
Well, Nate, I don't know if I've ever told you this. Sting and I have talked about this many times, but you have always had a very distinct, unique gift and talent. Everybody sees the Ric Flair in the ring and the performance that you put out, and so many times world champion and Nature Boy, and the way you walked out and exemplified being a huge star, not just in transcending wrestling, but really the sports and entertainment industry. That being said, and a given, you had a unique talent. And I can look at this more and from the perspective in retrospect now that I didn't appreciate at the time, that you had a way of bringing out the best in new talents. There's a lot of guys who are talented guys in the ring and were productive and were big stars, but you were just a big star, Nate. You were a star maker. Okay. You made so many big stars. And Sting and I said, you put us on the map. You knew exactly what to call in the ring. You knew exactly what the fans wanted to see. You still have a unique gift that which I will never forget. I am so thankful. I don't know if I've ever thanked you for that.
Oh, you have.
From the bottom of my heart, Nick. But you put me on the map, and my whole what I was in large part. You worked with me very early in my career. I'm so thankful and fortunate for that. You have just an amazing gift with that, Nate. I just wanted to. I don't know if I've ever really thanked you.
You have, I mean, are you kidding me? You remember? You're going to remember this because I used to. If I had a program with a guy that meant something, and it meant something to me, so Lex and I, the first thing they ever had in the old Charlotte Coliseum, not the one in Independence, but where the Hornets played, was me and Lex, right? 15,000 people in Charlotte. I mean, that was huge. It was not sold out.
Right.
15,000 people. So I went and bought Lex this real nice belt. Remember that when I gave that to you?
Oh, yeah.
And just to say thank you, because I mean, he and I were red hot.
Yeah.
I mean, we were red hot. We sold out Greensboro,
was
Atlanta.
88, 89, 90?
88, 89, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And we were just red hot. And to do 15,000 people in Charlotte, when the old place held 9,000, that was like old news.
Right.
We opened the building up before the basketball team did, and it might have been 16,000, but it wasn't sold out. But it was a hell of a house in Charlotte. Do you remember that, Lex?
Well, no, but the Coliseum, I think the new building was sold out. They were hanging from the rafters, Nate.
I don't think that, because that building held 24,000. Remember that's how they held They had the league attendance for a while with the Hornets.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was way bigger than they'd ever had in Charlotte.
Well, somebody told me it was sold out, so that's what I claimed.
Hey, it's our story. We'll tell it the way we want to. Whatever it was damn good.
Oh, yeah.
So, and as usual, I tell people that this is that if you were stuck with me, like Lex would be 90% of the time, or Sting or whatever, we had to go out there and follow Tully and Arn against Dusty and Sting, or Dusty and Nikita, or the Road Warriors against Tully. I mean, shit, we had a lot to follow every night, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we were just going to go out there, and thank God we had JJ, man. He'd get me in the rack.
You're
being modest, JJ.
Nate, you're being modest. I used to watch you. I asked you one time. You might not remember this because you worked with so many guys. But you used to always, at some point in the evening, earlier on, go watch a few of the other matches before, so you take a peek at them. And I asked one time, I go, Nate, why do you go out and watch the matches? The other matches kind of, I noticed you go in each match a lot of times, will kind of peek through the curtain for a few minutes. You told me you gauge the crowd. You see what they're buying, what they're not buying.
Yeah.
And you would implement that psychology. That's another thing in the ring I noticed with you is from city to city with different types of fans, the Northeast versus the Bible Belt versus the West Coast. You were able to watch the matches that night and then implement things in the match that you felt that psychologically the fans were buying into. And that was another incredible gift that you had in the ring that I'll never forget. Just incredible. Well, very intuitive.
Yeah. Well, the thing of it, well, thank you very much, but it was just, I knew I didn't have to look at anything if we were in Baltimore. Does that make sense? If we're in Charlotte, if we were in Richmond, Norfolk, but going to Chicago was something new for us, and Philadelphia, as great a market as that was, it's a smart-ass crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you want to make sure you protect yourself from putting yourself in a position where all of a sudden the good guy is someone they're making they're punking out. You know what I mean? Which is easy to do, and I've seen guys, that's the worst thing that can happen with your opponent is when the crowd starts cheering for you. So,
for the heel, you mean?
Yeah, the Garden in Philadelphia and all that. Was it great wrestling there? Yes, it was. But as opposed to wrestling in Charlotte or Atlanta in the heyday or Greensboro, I just the fans are. I like the Southern fans better.
Sure.
And that's nothing against my appreciation for what that brought, but all those people thought they were smart way before they were smart. Okay.
Right.
Now everybody's smart, but back in the 80s, the bunch of them thought they were, right?
Yeah.
And you had to be careful what you gave them because the guy you're working with,
you could bury him accidentally.
You could bury him without even trying to. You know what I mean? So that's my philosophy. I just felt like the Southeast was a great place. It was kind of like when I go to Texas to wrestle the Von Erichs, and this is another thing I've always said. The two best bodies in the history of our business are Luger and Kerry Von Erich.
Sure.
Swear to God, Lex, I said that my whole life.
I don't know about that.
No, I'm telling you.
That consistently.
I say that consistently to people.
I don't know about the best body, but you told me that Ricky Steamboat and I had the two best chopping pecs.
Yeah, no, that's true.
To this day, in my skinny pecs I have now, I still have white. My tan, I get white. I have white marks on my chest from your chop.
I know. Well, that's my only offense with a chop.
White scar tissue.
A chop, a strut, and a woo. a chop, a strut, and a woo is my only offense.
And they, getting back to what we're saying though, the way the ring psychology used in some of those heel markets we called them was brilliant because you were the only guy that I ever wrestled with, that the crowd was turning on me as a babyface because you were so popular that by the end of the match you were able to turn around. It's just incredible. You were always cognizant that was another gift.
Well, thank you. But you were a legitimate good guy. You and Sting, there were some guys with I can't off the top of my head, but some guys...
I'll tell you, Nate, a lot of times it was 50-50 or even more for you a lot of times in some of those Northeast markets. And
in the beginning,
by the end of the match to turn them.
Yeah, but the one thing you had going for you, and so did Sting, number one, was you both had incredible physiques. And that's one of those things where the East Coast people, the guys are intimidated by it. I don't care what they say. Nobody wants their wife gawking at a handsome guy with a great body.
Sure.
In the South, they don't think like that.
Right.
They just don't compute it. I shouldn't say they're not smart enough, but they weren't. But up north, if you had a good body, Hogan... unless he was working with Piper or Orndorff and that, he had to be careful too.
Right.
Piper had that kind of heat, but he had that good body and all that. And on the East Coast, the marks, they don't want their women looking at a handsome guy.
I think part of it too is, Nate, I don't know if you agree, I felt like, and certainly the Northeast exemplified that early on, is that with the fans started wanting their good guys, and eventually saw it was Stone Cold and some of the baby faces that got so big, and The Rock, and the white meat baby face, like the Ricky Steamboat and the Ricky Mortons.
Yeah.
The 80s they started to transcend. They wanted their good guys to have more of a hard, bad guy edge to them. Do you agree with that at all? You were
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, no, that's what I'm saying. Here's the deal. Ricky Morton and Charlotte could have a riot. In Philadelphia, they hated him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Conrad, do you agree with that a little bit, that they start wanting their baby face to have more of a little bit of a nastier edge to them?
Yeah, I agree. It kind of became the end thing for fans to cheer for the heels. They wanted to see the bad guy win. They wanted Lex Luger to kill Superman. I mean, that's what they wanted.
Right.
They just cheered for the bad guy. And Stone Cold kind of made that cool, where he was kind of a good guy, but kind of a bad guy because he's swearing and drinking beer and flipping people off. And that's just kind of what became the end thing.
But I think, Nate, you preceded all that, but you were able to walk that fine line of fans loving to hate you and having a lot of fans who really cheered you. But in the ring, you're always able to press the right buttons with the crowd to maintain you, the heel, and the other guy most of the time, that babyface. That was a real gift you had that I was sure thankful for.
well, thank you. But, the thing where I feel like I was lucky as hell, too, is that I always got to work with guys that were over. Does that make sense? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I meant.
There's a reason for that, Nate. You were the world champion. You were the Nature Boy.
No. Don't tell you. Hey, listen.
Whoa.
You didn't see me and Bob Brown in Kansas City. Oh boy. No, you didn't see me and Bob Brown in Kansas City, man. You missed that one. Or me and Rufus in Kansas City in front of 300 people. God.
Man.
That's when I invented the push the referee spot. when you get more of a reaction from the crowd pushing the referee than you do wrestling the guy, well, I'll push him all night long if I have to.
Oh, my gosh.
You're listening to Wooooo Nation right here on Play.it. Our guest, of course, is Lex Luger. You can check him out on Twitter at Genuine Lex Luger. And, of course, if you haven't already, you need to pick up his book, Wrestling with the Devil. It's available at LexLugerBook.com. I'm curious, guys, whose idea was it to put Lex in the Horsemen? Was that from the booking committee, or was that Rick's idea, or where did that come from?
That came right from Dusty. That was automatic.
I don't. This is the first time. Hey, Conrad, I'm like you I'm listening like a fan right now because I never got really involved in storyline stuff, so I was a foot soldier. So I don't know how that came about.
Now, I'll tell you exactly how it came about. Dusty called me and said, "Hey, you met Lex Luger, right, in Florida?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What?" He said he reminds me a lot of Nick Bockwinkel. That's how he thought you acted. Sophisticated.
Sure.
Bigger than Nick, but I mean, sophisticated, articulate, college educated and all that. He said, I want to make him a horseman. I said, cool. And next thing you knew, Lex was there. And, the only thing that went back and forth was with the good guy bay face between him and Barry. But, it's arguable, but for sure the best group of horsemen was either Arn, Lex, Tully, and me, or Arn, Barry, Tully, or me. I mean, much better than when we had Ole, because he was ready to retire.
End of his career, yeah.
Yeah, end of his career, and you'd watch the matches, and where we were moving along at a faster pace at that point in time, Ole still wanted to hold the guy down.
Right.
And they weren't buying that. Remember, Lex?
Yeah, I remember us coming in and beating up and leaving him in the broom closet.
Yeah, I mean, we shot some. Yeah. No, how about the angle we shot with you in Miami, man? That was tremendous.
Was that the one with the white outfit?
The white outfit, yeah,
I'll never forget the lineup of that because I had never gotten color before.
Yeah. And
you guys are probably almost as nervous as I was. So you guys had me drink like 3 shots of some kind of alcohol I never had before to thin my blood out. You had me take 2 aspirin, drink 3 or 4 shots of something, Nate, and then you had me have a blade. And you're trying to teach me how to use it, and JJ had a backup blade. And the funny part was, out of the parking lot when you beat me up around my head in the limo, I hard-weighed my head in the back of the limo. We didn't need any blade.
Well, just so you know, I had a blade too.
Surprise!
If JJ had a soft spot in his heart, I was going to get you, man. I got Goldberg if they wanted to kill me. I got Goldberg in WWF, and he was.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, I told him to hold still, and he said, "No, I've never done it before because he never did it at WCW." Right?
I see.
And so it was me and Hunter and Sean, or me, Hunter, Dave. It was Evolution, right?
Yeah.
And we got Bill down, and I said, "Hold still, man." Oh boy, I zapped him big time. And so,
hey, Jay did get me in that big match we had in Baltimore.
I know, I got you big time on that one.
Because the match was predicated on me getting color, and for a shoot, the commission
stopped the match.
That was huge. Yeah. And you guys, of course, were nervous. You guys were. I brought a blade. You cut it for me and put it around my finger. But when I went to pull the tab back, he taught me to keep that little tab there. Yeah. I dropped the blade on the ground. I pulled the whole thing off.
Yeah, but that's okay.
And JJ was the backup, and he got me.
Yeah. Oh, but that something. The commission was so damn mad, but screw them.
Gosh, the guy with the glasses.
Yeah, but we almost had a riot.
Red as a beet afterwards.
I was just up there. He just passed away. The old guy.
Oh my gosh, he threatened to ban us from Baltimore after that.
But we almost had a riot. That thing was dynamite, man. Lex was bleeding like hell. They were mad as shit.
Do you think when Lex was as hot as he was, and you guys were wrestling all the time from '88 to '90, that they made a mistake not putting the belt on him then?
God, I don't know. It's the thing that fell up, and he and I have talked about it. I would have been delighted to go to Baltimore and put the belt on, but
you're talking Bash '91 now, right? Talking
about when I went to New York, because Hurd, he just treated me. He'd already got me to cut my hair, which I was disgraced, and then he said, "I'm going to give you a new contract," and I was in Daytona with Arn and everybody sitting there, and he goes, "Well, we're going to drop the belt to Luger," which was the plan. And I go, "Okay, but I need my contract before I get there." So I went through that with those guys twice. And he said, "Screw you." And I said, "Screw you." And so then I went home, and I said, "I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll drive down or fly down and drop it to Barry at TV, and Barry can go wrestle him. And you got the belt."
Right.
And he said the same thing. "Screw you. I'm sending Doug Dillinger to get the belt." And I said, "Screw you. Watch for the belt on Vince's TV next week." That was the truth. Are you trying to
say you and Jim Hurd maybe were on the best of terms back then?
No, yeah, you think? Well, nobody liked him. You can't tell me you actually liked him.
He was definitely not the most popular guy with the boys.
God, he just couldn't tell the truth. The ding-a-lings. I mean, somebody asked the other day.
Well, he wasn't. He didn't grow up with any kind of.
But people thought that I was booking that. I said, "Do you think I booked the ding-a-lings? Give me a break."
Nate, that was funny that people always ask me questions. Were you upset with Rickman? I go, not at all. I go, number one, Matsuda brought me, and we're always professional. Number two, I go, Rickman was doing what was best for him and his family financially. I mean, behind the scenes, we're all here to make a living. I go, I had no hard feelings of whether or not Rick was at Baltimore to put the belt on me or not. I go, I had no hard feelings. I wanted Rick to do what's best for him and his family.
Well, it all started in Chicago before that, remember? I said to her...
I'll be honest with you, number two, Nate, is, and Conrad, it's a good question, big picture, should they have put the belt on me between 88 and 90? I think, and in retrospect now, which is much easier to say, they were always trying to make me into the new Hulk Hogan, and put the world title on me, and our fans' nature are a little bit different than WWE fans. And I don't think, number one, there's only one Hulk Hogan, there's only one Ric Flair, and they need to make me into a Lex Luger, and that might not involve me being the babyface champion with our fans. I thought it was much better to have it on heel. Of course, no one was better at it than you, Nate. With our types of fans. You guys agree with that at all or not?
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, I just think that it's kind of like the first time I went to work with Hogan right after this deal, right? And I go to...
that was a house show, right?
In Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
My first... Well, it was a dark match.
Right.
And so I go to him. I said, you can press slam me like, Lex Luger does and all that. And he looked at me and goes, "I don't do any of that shit." I mean, kind of a smart ass to me. I go, "Okay, what do you want to do, right?" So... he needs to test me, threw me out of the ring, hit me with a chair and all that, right? And I go, "Okay, you done? Like, I'm fine, okay?"
Right.
But he knew that, working with Hulk, he had a style, and he was over so good it was not even working, right? with Lex, man, I was taking press slams and we were suplexing each other, and I mean, a lot more activities. That makes
High
sense?
impact.
High impact stuff. I mean, and God, Lex, I'll tell you, them war games when Hawk and Animal were making the comebacks. I mean, Lex, let's face it, right? We got our brains beat out. One time, Lex looked at me and said, "Man, why is Hawk always last?" I said, "I don't know. It's a rib." God. Because when Hawk came in last, he almost killed JJ in Atlanta, remember?
Oh, my God. I'll never forget Tully after Hawk came in the ring in the Omni. We made the mistake of making him wait so long. The crowd was, I never felt the crowd like that. The energy in the crowd that first time in the Omni, huh, Nate?
Yeah, well, I know what I'm saying. And we just, I like Dusty was ribbing us, you know?
Nate can tell you, by the time Hawk got in the ring, he had so much adrenaline going. He hit me with the hardest clothesline I ever took in my career.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He literally took my head off my shoulders.
Yeah, it was a rib making him last.
Right next to me, Tully started, I go, oh, my gosh, Tully, what are we going to do? It was scary, and Tully looked at me and started crawling the ropes and clinged down like Spurman goes, grab the ropes. He said, F this. He said, grab onto the ropes.
Wow.
No, nobody gets it, man. They would get Mike. It was like a rib. They would keep Mike out there all night long, and we'd be giving him crap and getting right, brother. When they opened that door, and of course we all knew. It
was like hell unleashed when by the time he got hurt.
Yeah. Well, the one thing we did though, and I'm going to take credit for this, is we got together as a group. Me, Arn, Lex, and Tully, man, and JJ, because he unfortunately had to go too. Mm-hmm. We gave everybody a comeback.
Right.
As much as we didn't want to give Mike that comeback, we lined up on the other side of the ring and we fed him, man. But I'll tell you something.
What incredible psychology.
I thought that Mike was easier than Nikita. Nikita, your neighbor now, man, was that sickle of his was in there pretty good.
Oh, yeah. He definitely was snug with it.
Yeah, you think?
No doubt about it, especially when he was bigger.
The Russian Nightmare,
sure.
Scott Simpson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had that baby coming in there.
By the way, Nate.
Huh?
I was just with Nikita a little while ago this morning. He said hello.
Oh, good. I'm glad he's doing good,
Yeah.
We'd have him on,
I'm relocating in Charlotte here. I'm a fan of Minneapolis Concord guy.
Yeah,
I am loving it.
Yeah, he told me that. Now, how did you get to Concord from Atlanta?
Oh, my gosh. God gave me a transfer slip. We got a new nonprofit working on called World Wrestling Outreach.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
World Wellness Outreach, and it made sense for us. We've done a lot of work together before, Nikita and I, and we're working on together out of this area here to start with, and it's off to a great start, and we're just real excited about it. So, we're partnered up, and after Atlanta for almost 26 years, it was a big change for me, but I miss Atlanta, but at the same time, I'm loving it here. I miss there's no traffic here. I go at 5 o'clock during rush hour around here just to try to find some traffic.
No, and actually, Kannapolis has grown a lot in the last 10 years because that's out by the racetrack and the which has grown into a huge deal. Now they've got that. You're also
we switched places. You went to Atlanta, and I came to Charlotte.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, there's a woman in my life this time, man, and she ain't getting away from me.
No.
I got a good one, yes. Fifi, the French maid.
Hey, Nate, when you talk about image enhancement, there's another thing I never told you. You talk about image enhancement all the time. We stayed at a regular hotel. You always want to check into that nice hotel. We went to wrestle, and it was Washington, D.C. You checked into some, Westin, type hotel there down near Georgetown.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to go out after the match.
The champions.
Georgetown.
Yeah.
We got to the hotel at 5 in the morning. We had to catch a flight. We never got to use the room. I was brand new on the road. The bill was like $500, which was a lot of money back then. That's like $1,000 or more in today's hours. I never told you this, Nate, but I was so upset that I had a $1,000 room and didn't get to stay in it. I went upstairs to get my bags. I laid down in the bed for a minute. Just say I laid down in the bed. Tried to get my money's worth. Next time, Robbie, I was like, Nate,
are you sure that was me? Are you sure that was me you're with?
Oh, yeah, that was you. I'll never forget that. I was almost kind of mad at you because I was brand new and I had to go home to my wife. She spent $1,000 on a hotel that you didn't even sleep in. I didn't tell her that part.
Oh God, that's the night we went to that club and met Bathsheba.
I spent $1,000 for a room to set my bags and never slept in the bed.
My Lebanese.
Thank you. I never got to thank you for that, Nate, properly.
You're welcome. My Lebanese princess Bathsheba. She started stalking us. Oh man.
My gosh.
I'm done.
Crazy. Sometimes
Oh
I have to say, of my 15-year career from '86 to '01, those late '80s, early '90s with you, Nate, both in the ring and out, were some of the fondest, most wonderful memories of my career,
fun.
without a doubt. There were some real high points. I mean, I have such fond memories of that, Nate. I thank you so much, man. You made it a blast, buddy.
You know, it's funny because I still have a real good memory. I didn't see you for about a year, and I was leaving Europe, and he just came in.
Oh, that's cool.
And he was staying at the same hotel. He was checking in. And I didn't have to work that night. He did. I said, you want to go have a drink and catch up? He said, are you kidding me? Can't you just leave me alone? He said, I got to go to the gym. I said, screw the gym. It's overrated. God.
Nate, now, you gotta be. If we're gonna tell all here, one thing I'll give you credit for, you were what you said on your promos. You literally would do an hour Broadway, and then you would literally, Arn and Tully would sleep. You and I would still go to the gym. You come along to the gym with me now.
No, I'm not denying I went to the gym.
You would literally not sleep. You'd wrestle an hour Broadway, go out all night. We'd get on the airplane, land, and get the workout and get to the building that night. We had to go literally check in a hotel, grab some breakfast, remember? And go to the gym together.
Yeah, no, we always did. That's why I started traveling with you.
Oh, my gosh. We used to go sometimes 3-4 nights in a row, especially on weekends, sometimes 2 matches in a day, and I literally couldn't sleep.
Sleeping is overrated.
Remember, you order coffee for us?
I know.
You always have somebody go fetch us like 2 cups of coffee each, remember?
Yeah, you and I knocked it out because I couldn't go. Arn would go to the gym at like 2 in the afternoon.
Right.
He never missed a workout, but he that morning stuff didn't work for him. He said, Arn would say to me,
it was incredible.
Yeah, Arn would call me on the line and say, Kiana, by God, Tom is on. he was watching Rick and Kiana.
He'd be like, you and the eggplant, go to the gym.
Yeah, you and the eggplant. Oh, God, I tell you something. I was doing it the other day in front of my kids. We were at Dusty's funeral, and Megan and David and Ashley were all there. And I told them the greatest times were the jousts with you and Arn on the plane rides. I swear to God.
Oh, my gosh.
That time, he goes, the one that cracked me up the most was, what Arn, Lex would call him a human Super Bowl.
Well, he got me for what a horrible worker I was, which I was. I go, you do what you call work all years? Are you just overpaid Hollywood stuntman? You bounce around like a Super Bowl.
I know. And then the one time he said to you, you're an orthodontist dream. If I had those pearls, I could make 2 pearl handle revolvers for General Patton again out of those teeth.
Oh, he made fun of my big mouth and my big set of teeth.
Yeah.
He used to call me Wilbur. and he made noise like a horse. And then that was his ace in the hole when we'd go back and forth to the locker room.
I know.
He'd go to the bathroom and find one of those bathroom brushes.
Yeah.
He'd go and he'd come out of the locker room, out of the bathroom with a bathroom scrubber brush. I'd go, here, Lex, you left your toothbrush back in the bathroom there. The whole locker room would roar.
No, but I'm saying we would laugh.
Arn was the ultimate jouster.
Oh,
and he'd always end up the winner.
Yeah, the only guy I've ever seen that could run with Arn would be Bobby Heenan. That was a different kind.
Yeah.
Arn was the best, man. You don't want to joust with Arn.
Oh, my gosh. But that was very entertaining for the
It was
boys,
fun for everybody. We laughed and had a good time. Jesus. Hey, you know who I saw the other day, Lex, that I hadn't seen in a while? At the funeral was Magnum TA.
Yeah, I had lunch with Magnum here about a month ago.
Yeah, geez.
Yeah, it was great to see him again.
Did you? Was he working when you came? He'd already had the accident.
No, he was injured before I got in.
Yeah, his accident was 86. You came in 87, right?
He was injured right before I got in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would have been.
No, it's great to see him. We had a great lunch, Nikki and I, him together just a while. But we're having lunch with him actually tomorrow.
With Magnum?
Well, yeah, I'll tell him you said hello.
Yeah, I just saw him at Dusty's funeral. We caught up, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he drove down
called us on his way down there to tell us he'd be back and have lunch with us tomorrow. Yeah, he was driving down to the funeral down there.
Yeah. What a terrible thing. You know, I'll tell you, when I was telling Wendy, because a lot of people aren't familiar, that seems so long. I was in Birmingham, Alabama the night that happened, and, he was at, I can't name it, someplace having a couple of drinks with the guys after the show. And he didn't have his seatbelt on, driving down Sardis Road, which you know, Lex, because you've been in Charlotte. But they called me, and I couldn't believe it. And I went to see him in the hospital, and he was in one of those iron lungs.
Oh, wow.
They didn't have the life support system now. And he was in a big metal container, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And he couldn't move for the first 30 days. I don't know if you knew this, Lex. And the only way, I used to cry. The only way that he could communicate was with his tongue touching this little metal thing, to get a nurse to come or something,
Wow.
And after going through a nightmare with my parents, with healthcare issues when they were in the hospital, and the weekend warrior gimmick, I won't get into that, but. I mean, I felt so bad for the guy. It was terrible. So I followed him through his rehab and everything. And, then at the same time.
It's incredible he can get around as well as he can.
Yeah, it's amazing,
After sustaining a spinal cord injury like that. I can relate. It's amazing how he gets around. It really is.
Yeah, I'm saying he had that little bus or little scooter he has now and all that. But
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
keep on, man. I love about perseverance and fortitude and courage. He just keeps on going on, man. Yeah, well, let me tell you, that kid, I don't know if I'm sure you've seen pictures. He had a hell of a physique, too. And he was a good he went to Old Dominion, he was a college-educated guy.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, well, I'm glad.
Yeah, a real talent guy.
Yeah, so, well, God bless him. I mean, I just. Yeah. It's hard to get, all that stuff to go. You think about it, your health, you can't trade it for anything. I mean, your health.
Well, you know what they say? A buddy of mine says, Lex, us guys spend first half of our life chasing wealth, and the second half chasing our health, spending our money chasing our health.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, it's all good, man. We live in these fragile clay jars, and as we get older, things happen. But I'm glad you're holding up so good, Dave. You're my hero.
Well, thank you. I hope I got, the more. I used to say to myself, there's nothing else left. But then I found Wendy 3 years ago, and you're going to die when you see my daughter wrestle Ashley. Of course, you knew her when she was 2 years old.
I've heard rumors. I haven't.
Oh my God, Lex.
I haven't seen her even on tape or anything.
Yeah,
she's an incredible athlete.
She is going to I mean, I'm not saying this because she's my daughter, but she is so. On top of being 5'11" and $155,
wow.
With what percent body fat?
12% body fat.
Wow.
Yeah, and sometimes
she's an incredible looking athlete.
Sometimes she'll go down to 90 or 9%, but
wow.
Yeah, she's incredible, and Lex, she's vascular and diet. She reminds me of you.
She can redefine women's wrestling.
Yeah, she's going to. I mean, it's not because she is that damn good.
Wow,
and
that is great.
World, as you know, level 5 gymnast. Remember, she broke her back and couldn't get in the pool. Remember that summer when you'd come over and she'd be walking that brace. Then 4-time national champion cheerleader, and then Division I volleyball. So,
wow, what an athlete! Yeah,
so I'm so proud
of her.
Great, yeah.
I'm excited for her.
Yeah, I am too. It's funny. I would never, in the way the business is now, Lex, I really wouldn't recommend anybody getting in it. But she's got it. Once you're in it, you're hooked. You live it, and she loves it. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
but it's so different now, man. Jesus, but she loves it, and she's making a good living, and she's happy, and that's the answer. So,
yeah, I'm excited for her. I can't wait to see her wrestle.
Hey, Lex, does your cell phone take? Can I send you photos of her?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
I got the fancy iPhone 6 Plus, whatever it is.
Okay, good. Well, good deal. All right. Well,
I still follow your lead, Nate. I get all the latest gadgets. I spend my money on all the latest gadgets.
Well, you need to get the network for $9.99. Then you can see her wrestle.
There you go.
Well, listen, man. Thank you so much. Conrad, do you want to ask him anything else?
Before we let you go, Lex, it's a topic that comes up about this time of year every year. Who's going in the Hall of Fame next year? Do you think you'll get your spot in the WWE Hall of Fame at some point?
Well, I don't know if it's my spot. I think that there's a lot of careful thought, consideration put into that every year when they make the choices. I get asked this question a lot, and I really, it would be just a tremendous honor if I ever am chosen. I don't know if I ever will, but if I am, it would be really a tremendous honor. And if I'm not, I don't just, I try not to just be a man pleaser. On my first and foremost, I want to please God and not man. So I'm not after the applause like I used to in the same way. But it would, if I ever am chosen, it would be a great honor. It really would.
Well, you deserve it. You know, I mean,
thank you, Nate. For coming from you, that means a lot.
No, you do. And I think this year, I hope they put Sting in. I mean, you know,
that would be great.
I know,
well deserving.
Yeah, Steve, I think that was part of the deal, hopefully, with him wrestling at WrestleMania. And I'm so happy, as I'm sure you were, that he had his WWE moment. You know, that was long overdue.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was thrilled that he did that.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
So he's doing good, and he just got married again, man. What the hell? He's trying to catch up to me. He married someone from his church, so.
There we go.
Yeah, we met her. She's really nice. We talked.
A German girl, I think. She's from Germany.
She's very, very nice. Yeah, and
I'm really happy for him.
I got to spend a lot of time with him in San Jose. We caught up and all that. So
nice.
And I tell you what, man, they put him through the ringer, man. They kept feeding him. Did you see the match, Lex?
I did. I saw the match. It was. I love the way they set it all up. It was very well done.
Yeah, but I mean, he had to be in pretty good shape because they kept feeding him, man. And I was worried he was going to blow up because you don't do that. You don't do it all the time. It's hard to do, you know. And man, they kept feeding him.
He of conditioning, being in the ring, you have to kind of be in there to be in ring shape.
Hell yes, I know. It kills me that Hunter can do it because he wrestles once a year, but he seems to get in there and he just coasts, you know. So
he's a natural in the ring for sure. Yeah.
Well, listen, man, we love you. God bless, man.
Thanks for having me on, guys. You guys have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Lex.
All the best with the new podcast.
Wooooo Nation. Thank you, Lex Luger.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, Conrad.
I'll drive up to Kannapolis. You can give me a press slam just to see if I can still do it.
There you go. I'll do my best.
Okay, man. Love you, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
We'll be right back with the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun, Rick Flair. Woo! On Wooooo Nation.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
The greatest talker in the history of the business is behind the mic once again. This is Wooooo Nation with Ric Flair.
One of your best opponents. The total package.
Yeah, so thoughtful and so nice. Just been through so much, and you know what? The questions sit there, but you don't want to ask them.
Well, they've been asked before.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have any curiosity. You know, I mean, I lived it, so.
You know, it's unfortunate that he has such a negative perception because he's such a good guy.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, that's the way people. I mean, it's like yesterday. You saw what happened to Pete Rose, my buddy, right?
Yeah,
he got killed. He was going to be in the All-Star game in Cincinnati, right?
Right.
It ain't happening. I don't think it will now. You know what I mean? It's the media, when they get on you, they won't let you up.
Right.
They don't want you to be successful.
People gravitate towards the negative, and that's not what you'll get with Lex Luger.
No.
You know, we gave a quick plug, but we should do it again now. You can check out his book, which is a really good book, Wrestling with the Devil. It's at lexlugerbook.com. And if you're looking for a good Twitter follow, he's the guy to follow. It's Genuine Lex Luger on Twitter. You're going to see lots of inspirational stuff and uplifting stuff. No negativity from Lex Luger these days.
It's awesome. Thank you, Lex. Thank you, Conrad.
Hey, you know what? We also need to give a shout out for all of these podcasts. We've had a really crack engineer making sure that we sound good. James, come on.
James?
We've never mentioned James on the air, but James is the third man here.
I've signed autographs for James on 6 different occasions. He can hang out with you at the rich tonight. You can run one for both of you.
Okay, we're out of here. Thanks for listening to Wooooo Nation.
Woo!